Hello, this is Deborah from Maddisons, back from a very lovely holiday, and as expected it's lovely and quiet here at the moment. The market is still quite seasonal actually. The spring market is long and runs from kind of early January right through to the beginning of August. And then the autumn market really starts to get underway at that beginning of September, certainly when the schools go back, and runs through until the kind of second week of December. So it's a shorter market, the autumn market. And if you're thinking of listing your property in this autumn market, then now could be a great time to address any unfinished business to ensure that when you do take your property to market, it's looking its very, very best. Maddisons frequently gets involved with properties that have failed to sell with other agents. We're described as having the Maddisons magic wand, and that's often because I will give you really quite truthful advice about what I feel has been holding back a property sale. It's not the easiest message to deliver. When I often see sellers and say, why do you think your property hasn't sold? They genuinely don't have a clue. So it's quite interesting to point out things that certainly a buyer will be picking out on. So my top tips in getting your house ready for market, well, it has to really shine on both its internet listing and at the viewings. The internet listing means that you need to have really, really great photography. You don't want to go with an agent who's just going to snap away on their phone. You need to have professional photography that will really enhance your property. It's like anything you buy and sell. And I think if you're thinking of using an agent, have a look at their listings and just check if you feel their photography would draw you in to have a look at a property. But of course that photography can only be as good as photographing what's actually there. So it's really important that your property is well presented in terms of what's there as well at a viewing. So best things to do, curb appeal. Your property has to look good from the outside. It has to look inviting, well cared for, and certainly as if it's been really looked after lovingly by the current owners. Buyers are very judgmental. They'll form decisions very quickly. And there's unfinished business like dead plants outside. That will make them think that the seller has been neglecting the rest of their property. So make sure the property really stands out on the curb appeal. Smells is my second biggest thing. You go nose blind to the smell of your own house. There's nothing worse than turning into a property where I can tell a smoker lives there. I often won't say anything, but I know instantly. If there's a dog there as well, and bad bin smell, that's a hideous one to deal with. So don't put it to chance because you won't be able to smell those smells of your house. Get diffusers, get candles, just get some nice smells going. Air your house, open your windows, change your bin regularly, clean your dog's bed, and smoke outside. Those are my biggest things on smell. The next one, make sure that every room in your property has a really clearly defined identity. If you aren't sure what you should be doing with a room, then a buyer is certainly going to feel they won't get any value from that room either. So think about your target market. Are you looking for a young professional going to buy your house? Is it going to be a family buyer? Who is going to buy your property? And then make sure that you present it with an identity to suit that. So if you've got a really ideal kind of kids playing area right next to the kitchen, then put a sofa there, put a coffee table there, put a few toys, and tell your buyer that that's a really great space for your kids to play while you are cooking in the kitchen. And finally, I suppose for me, unfinished business, just address it. If you've had a shower that leaked and there's a nasty stain on the ceiling, then just get rid of it. Don't leave it there because a buyer is just going to feel uncertain, and no matter what we tell them, they'll just think that we're covering something up. So just get rid of the whole conversation piece. Address your unfinished business. Don't give red flags to a buyer of what could have been neglected in the property they're looking at. And finally, when you've done all of that, just go round, take a picture of each room and just check. Is there clutter there that still be tidied away? Is there things that are going to distract a buyer's mind? Could you just create a bit more of a seductive environment? Show homes of new developers are brilliant at that. They can really seduce a buyer. So cushions, throws, and just a general declutter throughout will be the final bit. So yeah, take some pictures and you'll be able to work that out. I do hope that's been useful. And next week, I'll be talking to you about what happens between offer and exchange and the things that you need to be aware of as the process. I hope you've enjoyed. Bye-bye.